Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Anyways, everybody, welcome back to the podcast Out at Reese's. I'm your host, Reese Shalvis.
And it's your boy, Devon Anderson. I just wanted to add a note before we go deep into, today's episode on the podcast. I just want to share my condolences to the family of a 10-year-old girl that had autism that lost her life due to suicide in Davis County, Utah. I'm so sorry for your loss. Words can't explain, the amount of impact that it had on me. So, sorry for your loss once again.
Another note on that, there's actually this organization. I did a charity stream for them last year. They're called the Center for Suicide Awareness. If you guys ever need anyone to reach out to, it's completely anonymous. You can text them. And you can just talk with them, right? They'll help you out. They'll give you advice. It's just someone to talk to. So just reach out to the Center for Suicide Awareness, and they'll be there for you.
Yeah.
To
be there for you. Or you can reach out to us. We're very outgoing. So, but other than that, yeah, let's get
we can get started.
Yeah.
So episode 2. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it felt like just a few days ago we were doing the first episode.
Yeah.
So kind of a change of energy. I feel like this episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's what, a week later.
It's just we're not really doing, like, last week was more of a introduction.
Yeah, of course.
But so this kind of, I guess I'll start us off with our.
Got to keep that 0 calorie.
Got my
sparkling water here with us. Flavored water. Shout out to Kirkland. Appreciate that.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, not at all.
So I wanted to start out with kind of this deeper quote that I found that I think is interesting, right? Because this all right, I'll just say it. So this quote is by Stephen Vincent Bennett. Life is not lost by dying. Life is lost minute by minute, day by dragging day, in all the thousand small, uncaring ways.
Ooh. Wow. Starting it off deep, huh?
Yeah. Whatever.
That's a great quote, by the way. When did you
Well, I was just doing some research for the podcast topics today.
Yeah.
And I found that and I was like, huh. I thought I'd share it,
That's a good quote. Can you read that back one more time?
Yeah. I got it one more time. Life is not lost by dying. Life is lost minute by minute, day by day, day by dragging day, in all the thousand small, uncaring ways.
And so when you say uncaring ways, what do you think that applies to?
I think, honestly, it applies to every aspect of your life, right? On how you're using your time, the kind of energy you're putting into it, right? If you are putting effort into your life, you're caring, right? Like, about all the things you do as you kind of go throughout your day to day, every minute that you're doing something, right? What kind of?
So essentially, I guess I think it's like what he's trying to describe is like the little things in life that is basically we overlook at sometimes that we don't think is very beneficial to us, right? I don't know. I live my life by celebrating the little things. Of course, you celebrate the big things, but it's always the little things in life that, you hold on to a little bit more because it gives you that extra added thrill. I remember I was talking to an associate today, and granted, everybody going to take this. Everybody going to take this differently, right? So the associate asked me, would you rather somebody give you $1 million? Right. And I told him no. Right. I think I would rather work hard for my $1 million. Right. Because my attitude and my mentality on how I got there and why I got there will be more beneficial for me. right? Somebody hand me something, I'm not gonna have the same attitude to keep going get it, right? Like that go getter mentality, right? Somebody just handed me $1,000,000. Everybody do it differently, right? Like everybody handle their like shebang differently. Like if somebody gave you $1,000,000, what would you do with it?
Hold on. Before we move on, what we do with that money? Let's talk about that question first. Would you take $1,000,000 if someone just offered it, right?
Right.
I would, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I do this. So, if when you're early 20s, however old you are, right? When you're kind of still a young adult,
right?
$1,000,000. I mean, you could technically live off of it, you know, if you put it into some kind of investment account where you got like a 5% return or something every year, you could live off of that.
Right.
But that's not why I want the $1,000,000. I want the $1,000,000 because I would take it to allow me to quit my full-time job,
right?
Do what I love to make more money and help the world. Because I want to turn this $1,000,000 into more money in order to let me do what I want. Well, do what I dream, right? And what I dream is helping the world and not worrying about, I gotta work 40 hours a week just to.
No, yeah, I think
just every you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's more like it's pros and cons.
Well, let me ask you this: what exactly are you gonna be doing? Like, okay, let's just say you're working 40 hours a week for a company, right?
So
what are you gonna be doing with that time, and that time you're spending to make $1,000,000, right? Like I think that's what you really got to look at. How are you going to spend your time? Like if you take the $1,000,000,
right,
you can do whatever you want with it, right?
Right.
But if you're not gonna take it,
what are you
gonna do to make that $1,000,000 like you said you want to work for? Now, I think the main thing is looking at where you're at in your situation, what you're doing. What are you say you don't take it, but now what are you gonna do to? I'm not necessarily asking you personally what are you gonna do, but just in general, if you're not gonna take it, what are you gonna do to make that $1,000,000 yourself? Work hard for it, right?
Right. Yeah, I think it's depending on where you at in life. Right now, I'm 18 years old. I'm taking $1,000,000. Right. My pride and ego goes right out of the window. Now that like working and like I came from nothing. Right. I didn't have anything. I pride myself on doing everything the hard way, and sometimes the hard way is not always the good way, right? But it builds a different mentality in you to work harder, to be the best that you possibly can be. Now, as far as like getting that $1,000,000, what like if I didn't get that $1,000,000, what would I be doing? Obviously, I will hopefully be applying myself in different other ways. Like, it just depends on where you are in life. Like, if I'm a software engineer, I'm not taking $1,000,000. Because I feel like, the more and more I learn, the better and better I can make more money.
Yeah.
Right? So, then again, if I'm working at McDonald's, flipping some patties, I'm taking $1,000,000.
Shout out to the McDonald's workers. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
We need to get food, right?
Hey, my first job was
food, bro.
Hey, shout out to Wendy's. Appreciate you.
Just that shift from software engineer to McDonald's.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was kind of like disrespectful. No disrespect intended. I started off at Wendy's. That was my first job at high school, and I enjoyed it. Shout out to them spicy nuggets that I snuck into the bathroom and ate.
Hey, I started off at Little Caesars making $7.25.
Hey,
right? An hour,
man.
Like that's crazy.
But yeah, no. Shout out to all the fast food. We do appreciate you. Sorry if that came off any type of disrespect. So
honestly, they probably don't even care.
You never know, though, right?
I mean, I'm sure some do, but.
You never want to offend nobody, right? Everybody work the same amount of hours. Some people, don't make as much as us, right?
Back to what you were saying, though, I do want to kind of go over that. How you're saying, you're saying the mentality, right? With working for $1,000,000 and just taking $1,000,000. I think it's, honestly, I agree and I disagree. I agree because that's probably how it is for most people, right? If most people just were given $1,000,000, I feel like they'd their
Get lazy.
mentality would not
Yeah.
necessarily lazy. I think so, but their mentality would be different in the sense of their work ethic, what they're going to be putting into it, right?
Of course.
Now but I disagree because I feel like if you, I think it really just comes down to your goals and ambitions. Like, what is it you want out of life, right?
Yeah.
I think that kind of is the main thing. If you just want an easy and free life of no work and just whatever,
Yeah.
you'll take the $1 million and you'll just kind of live off of that for the rest of your life and not worry about money ever again, right?
Okay.
Even though $1 million, it would be hard to do that in that today's day and age.
Yeah.
I feel. But point being, if you just take a large sum of money because you just want the easy life,
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. But why am I losing that word? Your mental. What?
Your mental what?
Your
mentality.
Mentality. So your mentality on the situation, I think, will be different based on your ambitions and goals. Like, if someone has extremely ambitious goals and $1 million is going to help them achieve that,
oh yeah, for sure.
Then I don't think they're going to be kind of in that more lazy mindset. That's the okay, I don't know why I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of that word, but I feel like, I just feel like if they're driven and have ambitions, $1 million is just going to make it easier for them to do that, and I think accomplish more when they have the drive, right?
Yeah. So
that's kind of where I'm at. That's why I kind of am in the middle.
So
right there.
It brings up an interesting debate, right? So, say you have two people,
okay,
right? You have one person that grows up in the slums, right? In low income, poverty, everything you can possibly imagine, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this other person that grows up and basically everything is given to them, right? And so when they both reach the same job or field, whatever, and one is hit with adversity and folds, and the other one hits with adversity that grew up in the slums and everything like that, perseveres. That's how I look at the $1 million thing.
Yeah.
That's just my whole concept of thinking maybe I'm wrong. Hey, I'm okay with being wrong. I have no, whatever. But I'm saying I feel like just the way of how your moral code is.
Yeah.
Right? We all pride, right? We prideful. I am very prideful over certain things, right? Like some things you're not going to get me to budge, right? But I don't know. I just think it's all about how you grew up, what's your drive, and how ambitious you are.
Now, I think something that's kind of important to look at, though, is let's take someone who came from the slums. They came from poverty, and they're working hard to get what they want, right?
Yeah.
Now, if they already have the working hard mindset, they're learning quite a bit.
Right.
And then they came into possession of $1 million. Imagine what they could do with that $1 million versus whether they want to change the world, help the world, whatever, right? Imagine how much they could change and do with that $1 million more as a tool rather than just a easy way, shortcut,
for sure.
Right?
No,
it is a shortcut, but I see it as depending on your mindset, it's like a tool rather than a
No, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying me denying $1 million is the correct decision.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe it's my pride at the moment. Maybe it's my ego or whatever. Granted, we probably all would take $1 million if it was in front of us. Some people are more prideful and, believe in, the hard way of working and to achieve the things that they want in life, right? They never want to say, oh, I had a handout. Oh, I got a handout, right? They always, talking to me like, hey, I work hard for this, right? I put blood, sweat, and tears into this. This is why I have all this is because I worked hard from the bottom, right? Nobody believe in me, none of this stuff, right? And then you get these millions and you're like, I did that. Nobody ever gave me $1 million. I woke up, I grinded every day. I worked 40 hours a week. And now look at me. I'm a millionaire.
But now, I guess one way you could kind of look at it is the $1 million the end goal for someone, right? If they're working that hard for $1 million,
Yeah.
and that's kind of their that's where they want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they finally get there. But now let's say someone who would take the $1 million, let's say initially their goal wasn't $1 million. Let's say it was $25 million, $50 million,
Right. Yeah.
So like if their goal is set to a much kind of a higher financially goal,
Yeah.
what do you think of them taking the $1 million to achieve that rather than just working so hard to hit their first million, right?
I think definitely. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I read this. Like, I don't know where I read it at, but they said you making your first million is always your hardest.
Yeah, your second million is like the easiest.
Right. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know. Like, it's your first million, right? Like, I don't know. It's just a weird concept. If you guys have any thoughts on that, please leave any comments in the bottom on like what decision you would choose and why.
I actually got I got this question that kind of goes along with this. That
Okay,
kind of I think this is really kind of just. I feel like this question kind of really just defines everything, right? That we've been talking about. So, do you work to live, or live to work?
Ooh.
Now let's break down kind of what that question means though. Like work to live. What exactly does that mean? Like the way I see it, if you're working to live, you're grinding, you're grinding your ass off, working 40, 60, 80 hours a week.
To pay the bills.
To pay the bills so that, so you can live, maybe pay for your family.
Yeah.
Pay whatever you gotta, go on that trip, just.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got live to work. Now, I feel like this one's more of a, I feel like it's more of a mindset. Kind of goes back to the mindset thing. I feel like if you're living to work, essentially that's kind of, I'm trying to think how to put it. Your main thing is like, man, I can't even get this out.
Work, right?
Yeah.
So basically, in my opinion, that's like you would rather take work over going out enjoying time with family and friends, right? If it's an opportunity to go do some work, you're like putting your hard hat on and going to work.
Possibly, but I feel like working to live can still be that, because like if you're sacrificing that time with your family, friends, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it also kind of boils down to the reason you're sacrificing that time. Are you sacrificing it because you want to be able to give them, like say your family, right? Let's say you're sacrificing your time with your family because you want to give them a better life, right?
Oh yeah, I think that's the end goal for every.
Versus just working just because you got to work, right?
Yeah, but that's the end goal for every parent.
I think that's the difference. I think the difference, living to work. Wait, let me find. Oh yeah, sorry. Working to live is you have a goal. You want to work because you have a goal in mind. Whether it's support your family and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Or for that vacation, just as a kind of dumb example, or living to work is you're just working because you just kind of have to, right? Like you're just, it's just part of the system. You're just working because you're basically just working to work,
right? I'm definitely the first one. No, it's crazy. How much? Hold up. How many hours did you work that 1 week?
73.
Now listen to this.
No, sorry, 76.
76 hours in a week. Now I'm gonna ask you, was it worth it? Now I'm not asking like for what you saw at the end of the day on a paycheck. Did you feel like it was equivalent to all the work you worked, the hours?
So, I actually want to get into this. This is a very interesting question that you can ask anybody who works close to 80 hours a week. Right?
Yes.
So for one, I feel like for one you gotta ask the reason, kind of, why are you working this many hours, right? Is it because,
well, yeah,
right?
I know why, but I didn't know if we,
I mean, I'm not really gonna go into why.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do feel like is like a part of me wants to say yes, it was worth it because it was a nice check. It was the biggest check I'd ever gotten in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it was doing something that won't put me where I want to be.
Exactly.
Right. So I do feel like that time I spent working all these hours, I could have put into like say Twitch streaming or YouTube podcasting, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I do in that sense, it wasn't worth it.
Right.
But in the sense that I needed money fast. Right. Because is like in that sense is worth it to help me reach certain financial needs.
Right. I mean, so definitely think it's pros and cons to it, right? When I tell you he looked like a zombie, it was really intense, right? You can tell that he was physically exhausted, right? Mentally exhausted. Like he did not conversations is like yeah.
Like, oh hey bro.
Yeah. Just like you can feel the energy off. I would never work 76 hours. Let me stop before I get too carried away. Depending on what I need to get paid and,
Okay, then now if you got like a nice bonus, right?
It's still not worth
giving up that time.
Dude. That's intense. Like for somebody that pride their, I guess like you got to have time for yourself, right? Like no matter what's going on in their life, you got to always prioritize some part of the day to self-reflect, right? Take that time, sit down. Me, I like to get a cup of coffee.
I think that kind of brings up this kind of question that I think is kind of interesting. So when you bring up time, right, you're like, I'm wasting my time, right?
Right.
So there's this question I think is kind of interesting to ponder. I'm sure a lot of people have talked about this, but is time a construct? Like a human construct, or is there, is it like what is time, right? Is it how exactly, like obviously we measure time with the passing, pretty much the rotation of the earth around the sun is essentially kind of how our basic way of measuring time is. Yeah. The sun's over here and going down, so it's probably later, 8 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
In the afternoon, whatever, morning, yeah.
But that's a way we kind of just measure time for the sake of running our operations in whatever country you live in, right? Yeah. Like you got to set schedule, you got to be here to work, and that's how things function in today's society, right?
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for having to be on this schedule, on this sleep schedule, this work schedule, whatever, what exactly is time in that situation? Because real quick, I want to go into this little story. I had this high school teacher. He was it was my history and government teacher. It was my senior year. He went on. He had a son. He said he went on a mission to this country called Vanuatu, and this country, it's a very small country. I think it's kind of off the coast of, I can't even remember, New Zealand or Australia, somewhere around there. Anyways, he was explaining that they have this very relaxed kind of island, what's the word? Kind of society, right? Whereas like they didn't really have set times to go do stuff, right? They're a little more old fashioned in the sense that you don't necessarily
track time.
I mean, they keep track of time, but not in the way we do, right?
Right.
When they go out to work, they're not, oh, it's 6 o'clock, I gotta get up to work. They wake up, oh, I'm awake, I'm gonna go work. Or like, for example, if they attended like a church ceremony or something, it wasn't necessarily, oh, the ceremony's at this time. The people would kind of, at least in the areas that he was in, they just kind of showed up kind of whenever and just had their
also that's
right. So it's like, what is time, right?
But like, it's just like what you just said, right? So time is very important because what you just stated, like how they showed up at any time, that's unorganized, right? Being unorganized can sometimes be a negative, right? If you're in a business type of environment, you need to make deadlines in order to make money. So you got to be on time, right? Time holds us to somewhat of accountability on achieving things.
Some could say that the way we use time in our business, capitalist society or whatever, right? I feel like some could argue that that's where the negativity comes from, in the sense, the fact that we're forced to work so much off of these time-based schedules just to function,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it can be so draining on people, it can have negative effects on them.
Yeah.
Having that kind of format can kind of be more negative, in the sense that, like, you talk to these islanders, right? These island people, and they're like the happiest people that you can talk to.
So, all right, I have a question, right? So
Okay.
since you want to get rid of the time format, right? So say if you order something.
I'm not saying I want to get rid of it. I'm just more using this as the argument for.
Yeah, no. So I just don't I would have to disagree with that. I think, like I said earlier, time measures and holds us accountable to get stuff done, right? You get shit done because you're on the time. Like when I go to work, I know I have a certain amount of time to get shit done.
Yeah.
Right? Like time, I don't know, time is just holding us accountable, right? You say, oh, in 4 years, I want to have a family. I want to, my podcast to jump off. Like, without having that time structure on that, you won't really push yourself day in, day out in order to achieve that so-called timeline, right? That timeline that you set in order to achieve these goals. Without it, you'll be be honest, without it, you will not apply yourself the same with and without that.
I think, again, this can kind of come back to essentially what someone's ambitions and goals are, right? If they got I'm just saying, like, if they got certain ambitions and goals and they're like, I want to get these done, so they set themselves that timeline, right? That time kind of construct.
Right.
Now now someone could have a different mindset, like, they could just be like, yeah, I want a family, but they're not necessarily setting a time frame. Like, I want a family in 4 years. I want to be settled down. I want to be rich, whatever. It's more just, when I find someone, and we will start a family.
Yeah, no.
They don't necessarily have some kind of set time to just.
Yeah. But you do have people in this. You do have people in the society, right, that needs that. Right? They need to feel like they need to be planning. Right? Or they don't they get cluttered and flustered and everything, right? I don't know. But you do bring up a great point, right? So before we had timelines and what else? Clocks and all this stuff to get stuff done. What did they do in the back in the day, right? Before all that stuff existed, what somebody did, had the mindset, had the ambitious. They had to be ambitious, like everything, right? Like they just went out and did it. They didn't know what time it was.
Well, in a way, although it was less structured back then, I think that's the main thing where time comes into play, is a more structured network of people,
right,
and a society. There's going to be more use for using the construct of time, right? Mm-hmm. So like for example, back then, when a lot of families would have their own farms, right? They'd raise their family on their own farms. They'd harvest their own food or whatever, and then maybe they'd kind of go out to their local market or whatever and sell their food,
right,
or whatever. And it's just it was a lot more simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than the structure we have today. It's much more complex.
It was simple, but it was a lot of stuff happening then.
Yeah. Right.
Just because it was simple didn't mean that it was way more other issues out there. I think in the eyes of everybody else, it was simple in the eyes of some people, but it was very difficult in the eyes of others.
Oh, definitely difficult.
Right. So
living back then, that's the thing with the structure we have today compared to then, right?
Right. Yeah.
It almost seems like, now obviously this varies from country to country as well.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the United States, right?
Right.
It's like you can easily find a job. It's not for most places you go, right? Most big cities you live in, it's not hard to find a job, right? Back then, you couldn't just go work for someone. I mean, sometimes, right? Maybe
This depends.
help someone on their farm or whatever, or on a mill or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I should refresh up on my history. but I feel like there's a lot more
Opportunities.
easy opportunities,
Okay.
a lot more opportunities that don't require. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know how to put this.
Well, I believe that it is a lot of easy opportunities, right? But also it's still, this it's still like, I don't know. It's just like it's still difficult sometimes. Even sometimes the easiest opportunities are usually hard for others.
I mean, we definitely face. I feel like while the structure's a lot different,
Mm-hmm.
the challenges and trials we face are just. There's certain things. I'm like skipping, but
You good? It's all right.
I feel like the things that were hard for them back then.
Yeah.
There's certain things that are easy for them are hard, but now easy for us because of the structure.
Mm-hmm.
But also making more other things that are now challenging and harder for us.
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
So like it's just.
I think
yeah,
as
like,
the U.S. always, take 2 steps forward, in a certain direction, and then you see something on the news or you see something that happens, and then you take 2 steps back, right? And like you said, as the structure changes, it's more and more different challenges. May not be the same challenges as back then, but it's still challenges.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
I mean it's definitely just kind of all comes down to just like what you want, really, right? What you want out of life, what you want, what are your ambitions, right? And essentially that can kind of alter what challenges you'll face.
Well, not really.
What do you mean? Well, I mean,
So-
to in certain situations,
Yeah, of
you're
course.
facing with challenges either way, right?
Yeah.
But then you'll face with even more. What I'm trying to say is there's certain challenges that you wouldn't face unless you're trying to reach these certain ambitions or goals, right?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't.
No, I
Does that
get you.
make sense?
I definitely understand that. Challenges. I think you shouldn't sacrifice your moral code for your ambition. Still have your moral code and be, a decent human being.
Now, give an example of moral code. Like what situation could
So you
could your
have,
ambition and
so like some people would be, not be, but some people get carried away with greed, right?
yeah.
You get a taste of power, you want that power, right? You have people that will sacrifice their moral code, like friendships and things like that, being loyal, all that stuff, and just throw it away just for more power,
Okay, I get what you're saying.
right?
Yeah.
Like never sacrifice. I truly don't believe anything in this world is worth sacrificing moral code, right? That's what I feel like keeps you human, is to have that moral code. I believe I live by a good moral code, right? I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but my moral code is what my moral code would be. I will always, be
Stand by
guided
it.
by that and stand by that. So, yeah. No.
I mean, I definitely agree. I do feel as though your moral code shouldn't, or you should never break your moral code if it means like to get
Sacrifice.
something else,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah, that's the word. Never sacrifice your moral code.
like never. Like, I mean, I don't know if you ever ran into people that like just get obsessed with like power and like you see it, right? Like you have friends that get a taste of something and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, who is that? Right? And they be like, ha ha, I'm joking, I'm kidding. Right? But to me, that's a red flag. That's bad. Got you. Got him. Right?
Captured in 4K.
Capture in 4K, right? Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of things in life. You just got paid. It's always the little things that we skip. And it's very important to watch every little thing, especially when you surround yourself with people that you know that always have your good intentions for you. that has good intentions for you, and know that it's there for you for the good and bad, and not just trying to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
So
That's. Now here's a question for you.
what's up? Let me hear it.
This kind of goes off topic a bit, but
Okay.
but it's still around the kind of the work, you know.
Yeah.
Now that this is a personal question,
Go ahead.
and I think it'd be cool if anyone listening or watching could, if you're on YouTube, just comment, whatever in below. But what job would you do that you'd 100% do that you're not paid for? You just wouldn't be paid for it, but you just do it, right? Just because it's something you want to do. Money's not about money. I mean, I'll go first.
I would be a therapist.
Therapist?
I enjoy talking to people,
Yeah.
right? I understand that we all go through our, shit, basically. And it's very interesting to hear about people's situations and see how I can apply my knowledge to that. And sometimes some people just want you to listen to them. But I don't know. I can be a therapist and listen to people's problems and give them advice, and I wouldn't have to get paid for it. I've been there countless times for all my friends, and never feel like, oh shit, I need to get paid for this. It was just more like, hey, let it out.
Get finishing, someone's venting to you. You
Yeah.
just give them all this advice.
Hey.
That'll be like $30, bro.
Right? Right? So,
but
I don't know. It's
good.
just
I like that.
it's good just allowing them to feel comfortable to express those emotions, let that emotion out, don't hold it in, and trust me with speaking on their mind, right? Just letting it out. And I don't need money to make my friends happy, right? No, I just want them to understand that I'm here.
I don't think
so.
I don't think trying to make someone should ever come from money.
Yeah, no, money isn't everything. Remember that. It might get you that Ferrari, but can't get you good friends. But
no. So for me, I would honestly, one thing I actually wish I could just do, right, and honestly I'd do it for free too. I would love to just help out communities in that are struggling, that need the help. Whether it's in some kind of impoverished company,
mm-hmm.
or what did I say? Company?
Community.
I meant to say some impoverished community.
Okay.
Whether it's
company,
countries, other countries, not companies, countries.
Yeah, there we go.
That are kind of in that could use out a little extra help, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to help the world, essentially. I would love to travel the world and just help people out like that, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'd do that for free, without
really?
second thought. Yeah.
Okay. That's very, yeah. I mean, it sounds like we both have some, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. I mean, I think I get what you're gonna say though. Kind of like we both have occupation for the free occupations.
Yes.
that we do that involve helping people.
Yes.
Right. Is that kind of,
yeah? Basically, that's what I was trying to tie into.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know where that even that mentality of mine came from.
I don't either.
Just wanting to be there for people. And it makes me happy to make people happy.
I mean, it's probably come from your personal experience, just talking to them, right?
Oh
And
yeah, it's
just the.
But even if it's not, it only have to be my friend, right? It can be a random person.
Yeah.
Right. Cause I said, we all go through things. Right. And sometimes you just feel like you can't express it in a way that you want to people that's close to you. So you want to vent to a random person. Right. Hey, you can vent to me for free. $3.99. Right. If I was doing something, if I was doing something for free, I'm totally fine with that. Right. Some people want to be heard. So, why not let somebody, vent to you?
That's one thing I feel like can can kind of turn people off about therapists. Now, I have nothing against therapists. I think
Right.
they work. You know, if you need one and it's helping you, that's great. And there's a lot of good therapists out there. But what
He's throwing shots at the therapist, guys.
no.
Something
So,
I wanted to
well,
do for free.
no. So just hear me out. So, but I do feel the fact that like some people, because I've talked to people that have told me they feel this way. They feel as though when they're talking to a therapist, they don't actually care about them because they're just doing it for the money, right?
Right.
Now, obviously, I don't agree that I don't think that they're just doing it for the money. Maybe there's the few that do, right? That
Yeah.
it pays well, so whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I do feel as though like a therapist making a lot of money, people could see it as they don't actually care about me and my feelings. They're just talking to me because it's how they get their paycheck. Right?
So also you thinking of this, right? How that therapist making that much money, right? Is either they good at their job, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Right. I mean, if a therapist is making a lot of money, you damn right I'm going to schedule an appointment with you. Right? Because obviously you getting paid all this money for a good reason.
Means enough people they're helping enough people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, look at that work, right? You're a product of your own work. Right. So if you have all these patients that's, giving you good recommendations, and, you have people here and there that say they don't feel valued, but the good weigh out the bad, then who you going to go with? Right? I'm going with the good. Right? And then I'll have my own opinion afterwards. Right? Like when I try new food, I'm going to listen to everybody. Right? I'm going to, trash. Right? So like sometimes you gotta go through their own experience in order to make a valid opinion on something. So, still would be a therapist.
I actually did want to be a therapist. Maybe within the last 5 years, at some point, I was like, I'd actually think it'd be so cool, to be a therapist and be able to help people like that.
Yeah, I mean, do you think as a therapist you gotta have a strong mental?
I think you do. Yes. I think
so. Like again, like therapists are, they there for people, but also I feel like they do expose their mental health more.
I feel like you really, to be a therapist, I feel like you really got to be able to handle tough things.
Yes.
Whether stuff
For
that
sure.
they tell you, right? You're gonna have to just mentally just know how to handle it.
Well, it depends on what type of therapist.
And not let it affect you so much, right?
Right. Like if we going in, like what type of therapist are you? That's what I'm saying. So it depends on that.
I mean, we're more on the kind of the mental, like, kind of therapist to help people.
Yes, of course.
Right, like, because I mean, obviously, a physical therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's completely different. That's another realm.
No. You're right.
But I mean, I'm sure most people understood the kind of therapist we're talking about, though.
Yeah,
right?
no, for sure.
That's like a, I don't know, what would be the word for that?
What?
The kind of therapist, the kind of therapist we're talking about.
Just a therapist, I guess. I call it a therapist. Like,
I mean, I know there's a word, I just can't think of it.
Okay. You got another
What's up?
Another talking point, another question, or you?
I mean, I got a couple other questions that are completely unrelated.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I didn't want to just like throw those out there out of nowhere.
No,
I mean,
also,
I kind of did that earlier, but
yeah.
But
Just another talking point. Just wanted to bring awareness to the 8 people that lost their life during the Astro World concert. I can't really, say in words about your loss, but I just want to say to all the families out there, I'm so sorry for your loss. Again, we will drop the GoFundMe links to all those people that lost their lives over the weekend and the person that lost their life in Davis County in the YouTube. So please donate if you can. And I'm sorry for your loss.
I wonder how this is actually going to affect the future of events like this, right? I think there are going to be changes made. Like,
I mean,
because like they can't let this happen again. The fact that this happened, and this has happened at concerts before, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like, how do you expect something to change if we didn't learn from our mistakes. Like, honestly, this is my thing. People would be alive if, I know they probably have moral code, but also if, like, we gave her shit. Right? Oh, you wanted to bum rush the stage and, you know, you hear people screaming for their life. It was probably loud. But also, you know what a human body feels like. Right?
Yeah.
You know what a human body feels like. I'm not excusing anybody from that concert.
Yeah, I feel
you know,
like
somebody just lost their brother, their sisters. Like, come on, like, it's crazy. Like, to me, it's just like, enjoy yourself, but also be mindful. Like, it's not that hard, right? So,
I mean, a lot of people they're quick to play the blame game onto like one single person, right?
yeah,
Some people say, "Oh, it's all Travis' fault," right?
yeah,
It's all just the crowd. It's the people who ran the show. But
yeah.
I feel like as though kind of everybody that had
Everybody played their own part.
kind of is kind of to blame just a little
Yes,
bit, right?
yeah, I 100% agree with you. I remember this is the type of society we live in, right? I got extremely mad. So somebody posted a video of like, hey, this kid was at Astroworld. The kid commented on the video and said, so what? A few people died. You only live once.
That's the most contradicting line I've ever heard. So if
No, I'm saying no, the kid. So what I'm saying is the kid that was at Astroworld, right?
Is he trying to?
No, he was talking. He was like basically, oh, he's like, oh, you guys gonna cancel me now? Like, he basically didn't care that people died because he got to enjoy himself.
I mean, that just shows his moral code.
That's what I'm saying, right? If we live in a society that people take life for granted, right? Like, some people won't realize life until they on their deathbed, right? Until they in their last moments and they're like, oh shit, oh damn, right? Like, sometimes people don't have those conversations that they need to have until they like, oh shit, I'm at the end of my line,
or just until it's too late.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, never, like, I don't know, man. That whole situation is just, you know, just funky. Just funky. That's the only word. That's all I have for that. That's just funky.
There's a lot, and there's still
a lot.
There's a lot we don't know either
Yeah.
that went into the production and everything.
Yeah,
you know,
for
so
sure.
It's,
This is just opinions again, but to me, if that was my daughter, my brother, my sister, I'm sorry. I'm holding Travis Scott accountable for 8 deaths. You know, he's accountable. And people in the crowd is also, right? Like, it's trauma all over. Like, the people that shout out to the people that try to save lives and try to make the show shut down and everything like that.
Dude, they're the real heroes. The paramedics and the people that really tried to.
Yeah, for sure. But also, they was trying to block the paramedics. Like, dude, the video is crazy. Like, just trying to block the paramedics, keep jumping around, listening to music, all that. Like, at what point is it worth a human life?
You know, actually, I was listening to this dude on TikTok. He's one of the paramedics that was kind of in the crowd dealing with everybody.
Yeah.
He said as he was like kind of going back and forth trying to help people.
Yeah.
It was just every spot. It was, hey, I broke my arm. I need help, or my foot's broken, or like just almost everywhere. There was just like an injury that he said someone was coming to him about, but he's saying he couldn't just help them all right there, right? Because he's still focusing on
the people that was unresponsive.
Especially the first person that, like, he said they kind of have this this rule where it's like, if you're helping someone who's unconscious or whatever, you don't help anyone else until they get fully helped.
Oh, okay.
Till you finish helping this person, then you can move to the next. And so just I was just kind of, when I was listening to that, I was just kind of picturing myself like, what if I was in that situation where I was the paramedic trying to help this one person, and just as I'm going through the crowd,
sorry about that.
As I'm going through the crowd, I'm just hearing all these people, hey, we need help over here. We need help over here. Like, the amount of stress that they must have felt, right? And that alone is just no one should have to be put through that. But like, thank God that we have people that are there to help.
Oh yeah,
right?
shout out, definitely. Shout out to their first responders. Also, military. Shout out to my dad. Rest in peace. But
All right. I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you think that dreams have a deeper meaning?
I don't dream. So, but when I did dream,
wait, do you not? Like,
I mean,
actually?
I don't really remember like the last time I dreamed. Maybe I dreamed at night.
Dude, that's what is that like then, not dreaming? Like, is
honestly, it's like you blink your eyes and you wake up.
Are you serious, bro?
Swear to God.
That's crazy. I was actually when I was doing my Out at Recess podcast last year, I had a guest on. He's one of my friends. He was telling me he doesn't dream either, and he basically just said that he's like, I close my eyes and then it's morning.
Like it's crazy to even think that's
so weird to me though. Like
oh shit, I blinked my eyes for 7 hours.
I feel like even when I don't have a dream, I feel like I'm still in my thoughts kind of. I feel like I still have thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And so the thought of just closing my eyes and then just waking up 8 hours later is just so weird.
It's just like, honestly, some nights I'd be like paranoid, right? Like I'd be like, oh, I can't go to sleep, or oh, my heartbeat. Like I hear my heartbeat too loud. I'd be like, oh shit, here we go.
I know that feeling.
Oh damn, I'm about to die. Like whatever, right? It goes through my mind all the time at night sometimes. And I'd be like, bro, I don't want to go to sleep. And then I find myself falling asleep and I wake up and I'll be like, oh shit. No dreams, no nothing. I don't really remember the last dream I had. Ooh, sorry guys. It's been a long day. I just don't remember the last dream I had. Like I don't, like literally, bro, it's just a blink and I wake up and I'm drinking coffee. Like seriously. Like I might have quick thing first. So I don't think I dream as much is because of my sleep paralysis. So a lot of people out there know what sleep paralysis it is. It's like I think you wake up in REM. Something like that. Something along that line. And like you can't physically move your body. But you're awake. Like you're awake.
And you can't open your eyes.
And you can't open your eyes. I can't open my eyes.
You can't?
No, my eyes be shut.
Some people can. Like they can't move their body, but they can open their eyes.
Yeah. I can't open not a damn thing. So, well,
oftentimes when people are able to open their eyes, or if their eyes are closed, they'll hear stuff, or they'll even see stuff in their room.
Honestly,
like hallucinations and stuff.
I hear my heartbeat.
Dude, that's scary though.
Like
your heartbeat.
That's what I'm saying. So let me tell
scary.
you. I will just walk you through my little steps. Right. All right. So when I get it, I wake up. Boom. First thing I do is try to move. Of course, right? Like I don't want to be in here for more than 10 seconds. Like I want to get out of this. So I try to move, and then I start to hear my heartbeat. Like I hear like doom, 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 doom. And every time I try to move and I can't move, my heart rate increases. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is it. Like, oh shit, no way. And then I like squeeze my eyes, feel like I'm squeezing everything in my body and move, and I'll be like, and I break out of my sleep paralysis.
I know what you
mean. And I'll be like, I'm not going to sleep for 2 days. But later that night, go to sleep.
You know, it's kind of crazy. So like sometimes, especially when I'm drinking caffeine, like energy drinks, I'll get like heart palpitations.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you can feel your heart. You feel like it changes its rhythm. You feel like it might stop or something. Yeah. Whether it's actually happening or not, that's
how I feel off pre-workout.
Right. And so I'll be laying there in bed, you know, especially if I had an energy drink that day. It'll just be like, doo, 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 doo. Right, yeah, and then if I swear it stops for like 2 seconds. Sometimes I'll be laying down, right, and then I'll shoot up because I feel like I don't feel my heart at all. Yeah, no, so I'm like checking my pulse. Is there a pulse there? Come on. I'm like breathing heavy and shit. Right, I'm just like, oh man, it's terrifying. But with the whole sleep paralysis thing, you know, lately I've been getting that. Like I'll be in such this kind of deep awake sleep, right? This conscious deep sleep, and I can't move my body, and I feel like I can't force myself up. Yeah. But I've noticed when I'm this is crazy. I've noticed when I'm in that kind of that that condition or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel if I think about it, I can enter a lucid dream. Like
Really?
I'll have my eyes closed and I can't move my body really because I'm just such in the deep sleep, but I'm conscious, and I'll start to see stuff form under my eyelids. Like sometimes I can rebuild my room kind of just based off a memory, right? And then things can just change because I'm now in like a lucid dream that I can do whatever. Although usually it scares me because I can't move because I feel my body but I can't move. So I usually get too scared to really continue the lucid dream to try and wake up.
Okay, guys, this is where we end the podcast. Because honestly, I hate talking about sleep paralysis because usually when I go home, I get it.
Oh, like when you talk about it?
Yeah, for the most part. So
I mean, just watch some JoJo before you go to sleep.
What I look like? Anime can't help me battle through that sleep paralysis. But
it's real quick. Just one last thing on that, if you don't mind. If you don't want me to.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
All right. So, one thing I don't know how to. I mean, I'm sure it's different for everybody, but for me, it's like when I feel myself in that sleep.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sometimes being. Like I can feel myself being pulled deeper, and it almost hurts when I'm trying to wake up and I can't. Do you feel like it kind of mentally just hurts, right?
Well,
like
not mentally, but
like some weird pain I feel like I get.
Like honestly, like I think I put more strain on my heart because like I try to move, and like on top of trying not to panic, right? Like, bro,
yeah.
You wake up and you can't feel like you move, bro. The first thing, your heart, boom, 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 because you're not used to that. Right, you think you about to get some, butterflies and roses going to sleep, but then you wake up in the terror of sleep paralysis.
It's crazy.
But
I got a lot about my sleep that I actually do want to get into in future episodes, just not today.
No, for real.
I'm sure you know about it.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably all we got for you guys tonight.
Okay.
It's honestly been a good podcast. Yeah. Episode 2, baby.
Yes, sir.
Dude, started something good, bro. I got huge plans for this podcast for the future. You guys should really, really check it out and just kind of join the ride.
Yeah.
Us trying to grow. If you guys haven't already, you guys should subscribe. If you're on YouTube, follow whatever on Spotify. The podcast will be on iTunes soon. I'm just waiting for them to finish setting up my account. It's taking forever, but
we will be there shortly.
We'll be there soon. Right now, you can listen on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. If you guys got any questions, just go ahead and leave comments. If you guys got any suggestions, whatever. And if you guys want to follow us on social media, it's out at Reese's. Thank you guys so much for listening, dude. If you guys made it to this end of the podcast,
we appreciate you.
You guys should really consider following or subscribing.
Yes, honestly,
right?
it's
looking forward to future episodes.
It's been a nice episode today. Just for some ending notes is that as we drive to work and get off work, just be kind and courteous to everyone around you. I challenge all you guys to speak to somebody you don't know and just ask them if they okay. Just check in on everybody.
Yeah,
and
don't forget to reach out to your friends.
Yeah,
a lot of them. I'm sure a lot of people have felt this, but I know a lot of them will feel like that they're not really cared by their friends because they're not reached out to.
Yeah.
So if you really do care for your friends, bro, just reach out to them, just see how they're doing. If they need help with anything, and
that's all.
I mean, that's it, guys. Tune in for the 3rd episode coming next week, next Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Peace.
See ya.